facing and things like that. So tell us a little bit more about that huddle, what it's for, the one-to-one sessions, and what you hoped people achieve from it.
The huddle sessions, as I say, I started. They actually started before the Care Connector became the Care Connector.
Right.
They actually started probably around April, May of 2020. And at the time, I just did it for people just to get together, have a chat, have a bit of a release. The fact that we're all sat in our own homes, couldn't get out, it was good to meet up with people, So we had something similar going on as well at the time that started up. So, and Professional Speaking Association, I was last year's regional president for the Professional Speaking Association, and we had one which was Coffee Conversation that we had every Friday morning, and that sort of started up around about the same sort of time as we had the Huddle starting.
Right.
And it was basically to get people together just to have a chat and a release, and people were saying it was good for their mental health and all this sort of stuff, that it wasn't just about business, it was about getting to know people.
Bit of normality.
Yeah, normality. Speaking to someone else rather than your partner, I suppose, or your kids.
Yeah.
But then it sort of progressed. And then this year we really changed the way that we're doing things with the Huddle. It's always been about supporting people, but when people go, I didn't know that person did that, and I'm like, well, what have you been doing in the breakout rooms that I put you in every week? And I looked at it, it's like the best people to sell your business is someone else. Right? And as trainers, consultants especially, they're in care homes more than anyone else, apart from the people that work in them or care businesses, so to say.
Yeah.
That more than anyone else that doesn't work in there or live in there or has a family member in there, right? So trainers and consultants are key to letting them know what you do so that they can help solve more problems. And we started changing it up a bit, and now we've got with the way the Huddle works is basically we find out what people have been up to. Just a quick round. Anyone got any good news? Anything that's big that's happened? That you want to share with the group. And if you made a commitment that you were going to do something from last week, have you done it this week? Right. And it's very open. We don't go, you said you were going to do this, Andy, have you done it? That's not the way that we work, Yeah. It's a supportive environment. So if you want to tell us that you've achieved it, great. If you don't. And then we do a spotlight session where we ask the person what is it that they're doing, or what do they do, so that everyone starts to then get to know what they do. And it's open to suppliers and care providers. This isn't just a one-way street of this is only for care suppliers. This is for both sides. What is your problem? What do you do? What's your problem? And how can we solve it for you, or help you to solve it, or give you some advice? And we do that by going into breakout rooms, working together, and then actually coming back and feeding back to the person. Then we have our one-to-ones, and they're short 4.5-minute one-to-ones, right? Everyone comes back in from and goes, that's not enough time, especially new people, right?
I found that myself, I have to admit.
And then people go, why? And I say, why isn't it enough time? Oh, because we didn't get to finish. Great, perfect amount of time then.
Yeah.
And they go, why? It's like, because now you need to catch up with that person to finish that conversation.
Yeah, which I have done. Yeah. I've done it with a couple of different people. Yeah,
absolutely, right.
Yeah,
and take it further so that it is more about getting to know the person, and then what can we do further after that, right? So it's about that introductory side. It's about getting to know people, and some people have known each other for years that are on the Huddle, and they might go in and have a chat about what did you do on holiday.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but if you want to chat business, then fine. If you want to chat about what you did on holiday, then fine. It's up to you, you know. But ideally, we want to know what the person does, you know, and can we help each other? How do we get to know what's going on? You know, and then we do a who, what you're looking for, or who you're looking to speak to. Does anyone in the network know who that person is that we can introduce? And I always say to people, you're not allowed to say the care sector. You know, you have to be specific about what it is that you're looking for, and then what you're going to commit to doing next week for your business to try and take your business forward.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great. I mean, I really enjoy the huddles, I have to admit. You know, it's just nice hearing what people are getting up to and those success stories that you're talking about. In the last huddle, for example, one of the training providers, you know, they just had their training room completed, and they were really pleased, you know, because they can now move forward and get people in and start getting the training moving. So it was all really positive stuff that comes from it. And, you know, and I thank you for inviting me along to it, Iain. So just looking at another one of the services that you offer through the Care Connector network, it's called Join the Dots. Tell us a little bit about Join the Dots.
So what I did was I thought, right, if we do something called anonymous ads, right, which is the Join the Dots. So a care provider can come on to the platform, fill in a form saying, I'm looking for this, right? And then our members can go, we do this. That's it simplified, okay?
Yeah.
And then but at no point in time does the supplier ever know who the provider is until the provider gets in touch with them. So the the supplier said to me, yeah, but how does that help us? Because we don't know who it is. Well, what we're doing is we're asking the questions that are going to start that you would start that conversation with. What's your budget? What's your timeline? What is it you're looking for? What do you need any qualifications from me? Right? All this sort of stuff. Right. So I say to in the provider one is be specific, right? Don't just say, I'm looking for someone to come and put a sink in, right? Where's the sink? Where are you based? What's happening, right?
Yeah.
All this sort of stuff.
Put the detail.
You know, again, and this probably came about because I saw a post on one of the Facebook groups going, I'm looking for a plumber. Does anyone know one? That was the information that was put out there. Right? Yeah.
It's quite vague, let's be honest.
I went and looked at this. The person was down in Kent. I've got a plumber that lives 2 doors up from me. And I went, yeah, I do. And I don't think he's going to come to you. Right? Absolutely. Or he might do, but it's going to cost you an absolute fortune. Right? So we're going to ask those starting questions. Now, when you come in as a supplier and go, oh, that's what I do, let's look at it, right? If they say that their budget for let's say it's moving and handling training, if they say their budget is £250, right, a day, and you charge £750 a day, there's no point in even starting that conversation.
Absolutely.
Because it's just wasting both of your times. You're going to get nowhere near £250 and they're going to get nowhere near £750, right? They made that decision. So you can look through and go, actually, yes, that's for me, or no, it's not for me. So it's saving you time and energy.
And a lot of those emails. Yeah, absolutely.
So this is where we're going with this. We are going to actually incorporate this into the app that we're looking at for this sort of thing to make it easier. But it's for our members on both sides to be able to do that. So a care provider can come on and go, I'm looking for moving and handling training. I'm looking for 10 beds. I'm looking for you know, a new butcher, whatever it might be.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that we can then go, oh, you know, or as members can go, you know, to bring more people into the network, to grow the network, that they know someone that does that and they're not members of the network yet. So they go, oh, if you go and join the network, you can get.
Yeah, start finding extra work. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a really good idea. A really good idea. I mean, it's again, it's all about starting those conversations, isn't it? And getting people communicating and outside of those silos that you mentioned, you know. So yeah, I mean, you've got some really exciting stuff coming up in terms of events as well that I believe we're working with you on in terms of accreditation, your Together events. Tell us a little bit about those events then.
Yeah, so with the Together events, they're smaller and more intimate. And what we're looking at doing is actually having them going forward is going to be more workshop stroke masterclass practical stuff based.
Right.
So, you know, we've got one in Huddersfield on the 19th of September. And we've got 2 people that are going to come and talk to us and are running 2 masterclasses. One is David Beattie from Care Ideals, and he's going to be running a care business, not a care service.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a 2-hour masterclass on that.
Yeah.
Right. And then we've got Sally Rasmussen, who's going to be speaking about marketing and using AI in marketing for your care business. And again, it's going to be a practical takeaway, implement when you go back into your care business and actually make a difference.
Yeah.
You
Hit
know,
the ground running with it. Absolutely.
But we keep them small as well, right? So they're more intimate rather than being big. We've only got 50 tickets for each of the 2 events, you know. So it's a case of be in the room and speak to the people in the room, right? And actually get something from it rather than getting loads and loads and loads of information that you've then got to try and go and sift through. You're going to come to us, there's going to be a specific thing that we'll do.
Focused event, yeah.
You know, and then so that's on the 19th of September, and then we've got one down in London on the, I want to say the 12th of December, which is a Friday, down in London. And then we've got our bigger one that we're actually going to be running, which is our Together with Burns.
Lovely.
And that is going to be, so that's a business by day, purpose by night one. So the business by day, it's going to be a Together event. There, you know, there's exhibition spaces available, there's sponsorship available, there's all sorts of stuff available for it. And that event is going to be the same sort of thing, where it's going to be about learning during the daytime, networking, getting to know people and meeting people within the sector. And then at nighttime, we're actually going to be launching the foundation. That's the plan with this. Is
exciting.
And we're going to have it as a Burns supper.
Super.
At a location in Edinburgh that overlooks the castle. So the castle will be lit out for Burns. It'll be absolutely amazing.
That'd be a great launch event, won't it? That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. So that's our 3 events for this year, and then we're looking at more events again for next year. And we're looking at doing some more smaller networking events as well around the UK. So I'm working with a few universities and colleges at the minute, where we're going to look at implementing a Care Connect networking event, and that'll be more of a networking event. So, you know, it will be getting together and finding out about each other, but more locally, because we've got people all over the UK. You know, there was no point in starting up local ones until we knew that there was going to be people in that vicinity that we could start looking at creating these. So these are the sorts of things that we're working on at the minute as well.
Well, I mean, you're extremely busy, Ian, already, but I mean, you mentioned it slightly earlier, and also in a meeting we had separately from this. It was you were talking about your incubator programs as well. Tell us a little bit about the vision behind that.
So we started off looking at the 12-week programs, right, to try and help. I want to use an analogy of, it's like, you know, the Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus book.
Yes.
Right. This came to me yesterday, this bit, actually, when I was putting together some stuff. And this is what it's like when I look at and listen to what people are saying from a supplier to provider side of things, right? Mm-hmm. We all want the same thing. Yeah. Right. But speaking different languages. Right. Yeah. I had this because as I say, things trigger in my brain. And I had this at a place I was working at as an agency chef while I was setting things up. And I was in a place where the head chef and the dietitian were having an argument about food for a person. Mm. And the head chef is going, we can't do that. And the dietitian saying, but we need this and this. And in the end, I intervened and went, actually, I said to the head chef, we can do it. And I said to the dietitian, you're just saying it wrong. Now, I could say that because the dietitian was someone it was in my class at university. Right. And I turned around and I went, you know, this is what she's asking for. And he turned around and said, well, why didn't you just say that? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I see that a lot of people are passionate about what they do. Mm-hmm. And the way that they put it across is not what the care side needs, maybe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But if we can get those conversations right, you know, then it will make such a massive difference. And I think this goes for all businesses, not just in the care sector.
Completely agree.
Is that people that have got products and services are trying to, especially small business owners, try and sell what they do, right? And I did when I first set up the network, right? Now I know what I do. I just space, right? Safe space to bring the network, to bring the care sector together. That's what I do now, right?
Yeah.
I provide a safe space for the care sector to come together.
And right? You do it very well, by the way.
Thank you very much. So we started looking at, and I've gone off on a little tangent. I know I have.
It's all good.
That's the other side of my brain going. But it was the language thing. It was that whole, you know, not being able to talk. I'll give you a quick example. I spoke with someone the other day, and they do well-being, and we looked into what it was that they actually did. We went a bit deeper. We deep dived with this person. And I took one aspect because I look at stuff and I went, okay, what happens if, you know, from a well-being point of view, some people might think, oh, it's just a nice to have if we had time to implement it, right? And I said, well, let's reverse this and let's look at this from a different perspective. What happens if the well-being isn't there, right? Mm. People make mistakes.
Yeah.
One of the biggest mistakes in the care sector is medication errors.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Most people will attest to that, right? Now, when you start looking at it from that point of view, it's like, okay, then so that person has made that mistake because maybe they're burnt out, they're tired, they're all this sort of stuff. What's the impact of that? Well, we have to do a safeguarding. And I was speaking to this person, and we worked out that to do a safeguarding takes about 8 hours. That's if there's no investigations or anything like that. That's from a basic to signed off.
Yeah.
Okay. For one.
Yeah.
Now, how much is that costing the business and the manager's time?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what the value the manager can bring to, if they're spending all their day dealing with paperwork for safeguard, then what value are they bringing to, you know? And I don't mean that in a derogatory way whatsoever.
No, I understand. Yeah.
I want to help the managers to stop doing this so that they have time to do what they actually want to do, which is care.
Absolutely.
They care. That's why they do it, you know? And I want them to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It actually upsets me that they can't because of paperwork and tick boxes and all these things going on, and the support not being there that's not right, you know. So going back to your question, I then went and looked at, are there any incubators for people starting up care businesses or starting up as a supplier into the care business? The answer is no. There are incubators if you're in health tech. Right. So if you're on a tech side of things, there's something there. If you are doing a social enterprise, there is something to set up a social enterprise, but nothing specifically for social care.
Okay.
Right? Nothing that I found. Of all the incubators that are out there that I've been looking at, there's nothing that I found. So I went, well, let's do it. So that is something that we're going to be launching. We're also speaking to other agencies, and what I mean by agencies is other people, other businesses, other organizations, to look at how can we bring those people in. So just before I was talking to you, I was in a meeting with a company that helps people find grant funding and startup funding, seed funding, all this sort of, and then funding for once they're bigger and they need more, basically.
Yeah.
And we're partnering up. Well, we already have a working relationship with the Federation of Small Businesses, so we're going to incorporate that into the program so that people will have access to that.
Yeah, the benefits from those guys as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and more and more. There's a lot of things that we're actually working on and working with to actually make this much bigger, right? Because the network is, I'm teeny tiny cog in the whole thing. It's the members that are the network. It's the members that make the network work.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I'm the one that comes up with all the ideas and go, oh, let's do this, right? So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. We're going to have our members delivering the care provider one. I'm not going to be doing it.
Yeah.
It's our members that are going to be delivering it because that's what they do. Right? I'm not an expert in anything really, but you know, the nutrition one I might do some stuff in, catering, you know, behavioral leadership stuff, but it's very much a case of I want to use the members to be able to deliver this so that they get benefit from it as well. They're then being seen. So what we want to ideally do is run two cohorts alongside each other as well. So we have a supplier one and a provider one, and they can talk to each other as they're going through. So by the time they're finished, they all know how to talk to each other.
Great idea.
Right.
Yeah. That's a fantastic idea.
And we can do this together. We can do this if we help each other. You know, stop seeing people as competition and start seeing people as connections. Start like working with each other. there are so many businesses out there, right? It doesn't matter how good you are, you're never going to get them all, right?
Yeah.
As a supplier, never going to get them all, right? I was working for a group, and we worked out that I was going to go in and do the training, and this was just before lockdown. So this was a massive contract that I lost, right? And we'd worked out for me to get around this group that had around 30 odd homes in it to do all the stuff that I do from my nutrition stuff was going to take me 2 years.
Really? 2 years?
One group.
Yeah.
Right? But people worry about, we want the whole sector. Well, you're not going to get the whole sector. It's too big.
Yeah.
Too big for any one person to have, right? And there is always going to be people that don't like what you do, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to go to someone else. So there's enough out there. And I always say, let's stop trying to get a bigger bit of the pie. Let's make the pie bigger so we can all get a bit of it. There's enough.
Absolutely.
The pie's big enough. Right? So that's what we're doing with that. And it will be a 12-month program, and it'll be the support throughout the whole of the year, and many, many things that are going to come with it.
So you've just described to me over the last while we've been talking, a massive vision that you've got for the Care Connector network, from your incubators you've just talked about through to the foundation and charity. You join the dots, the Huddle. I mean, you must find some time for yourself somewhere in there, Iain, you know what I mean? Because you're a busy man. But moving it on just slightly from more of a selfish perspective, let's talk about the CPD accreditation that we work with you on, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So currently we work with you for your events and your webinars, you know, some of those that you've had CPD accredited from us. So why did you choose the CPD group for your accreditation?
Things need to be credible. We know that there are people out there that are a little bit unscrupulous. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yes, I'll leave it there.
But it's a case of it's credibility and keeping things simple, right? The framework that you've got makes it really straightforward to work with you, makes it really easy, you know, and people who come to it have got something that they can walk away with at the end that's, you know, trusted, and it just makes sense really to work with you on stuff.
Yeah, it's super. I mean, have you noticed a kind of an impact from, you know, your events and things like that being CPD accredited?
Yeah, I think people like the fact that things are CPD accredited, and that, you know, it does make people go, oh, right, okay, it is something more, you know, because people have to do CPD accreditation. You know, they have to do CPD hours. So that's why we're like, well, again, through the network, if we can offer that, then it means that people can get all of their needs in one place. Or we can signpost people to places, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, what would be the main advice you would give to people in the sector about making the most of CPD accreditation?
Attend the events that are CPD accredited. You know, attend those events and get that accreditation, and get those hours. You know, you work with a lot of people that we work with. You know, care roadshows, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, it's a good way to get CPD time put in. You know, if you come like for our event in Huddersfield, I think it's going to be about 6 hours of CPD time, you know, that you're going to get. To become accredited, should people become accredited? Absolutely they should, right? Because again, they're then going, it's an added value to things, you know, with the fact that you are getting this, and also it's that, I don't want to say safety net, but it's been reviewed by somebody, that is then going, yes, this is suitable, right? And that person actually does know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know, and like with us, with our stuff, yes, we send it in. It's really easy to do. But I deal with Matthew a lot.
Yeah.
And Matthew knows that I wouldn't put anything through that I wouldn't feel comfortable putting through.
Absolutely. I mean, Matt speaks very highly of you and the network. It was Matt that introduced me to you, you know, so you guys have a good working relationship there, and Matt does understand the standards that you uphold at your end, you know, which is very similar to our ethos at this end. You know, so it's super. It's been great working with you as well, Iain. But finally, I'd just like to ask one last question, if you don't mind. And it's for those people out there that might be watching or listening to this, you know, that are thinking about joining the network. How can they get involved?
They can go and visit the website. We are just about to launch a bundle at the minute that's going to include the 12-week program, a space, their own space on the platform, right, for them to be able to build their community. That's the other thing from a trainer's perspective, right? Trainers go in, they train, they go away, and then they don't have that interaction with people because there's nowhere to have that interaction. We're offering trainers and consultants that space on our platform that they can build their own community and have that constant contact with them. So we've got the program membership, a space on the platform, one-to-one with us to actually help you set up your own space within the platform and what you can do with it, and lots of other things as well that they get from it, you know. And with that, it's probably about £5 worth of stuff, and we're going to do it for the first 10 people for 1,500, I think, or 1,600, 1,599, you know. But website is the place that you're going to go and find what we do. LinkedIn, go on to LinkedIn, go and look for the Care Connector. Come along to the Huddle. It's free. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right? It is a free resource for everybody.
I can come along for that. Yeah.
You know, to the Huddle on a Wednesday morning. You can find the link for that on LinkedIn, on our page, on our events page, and also on the website as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely put that link out as well, Iain, you know, and really encourage people to join, because again, I mean, I've benefited from it from a CPD accreditation perspective, just talking to the people on the Huddle and, you know, talking about their needs and their requirements, you know. So yeah, it's been really good for me. So I would encourage everybody out there to join the Huddle, you know.
And I would also say as well, even if you think that the care sector is not your sector, actually think, is the care sector your sector?
Yeah.
So the sector is massive. If you put anything into a hotel business or a hospitality business, a business or healthcare, then the sector is for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and your network's the way into it. Absolutely. But Iain, again, you know, as I said at the beginning, thank you so much for your time today. It's been great catching up with you again. I look forward to seeing you at the Huddle tomorrow. So yes, I'll be doing the spotlight, as we mentioned. So I'll be talking to everybody and doing a little bit of a presentation, and hopefully they can help solve the issue that I'm facing at the moment within the sector. So that would be great. A really good space for me to be able to talk to everybody. So thank you for that as well. So, and thank you everybody who's been watching or listening to the podcast today. Iain Clague, again, from the Care Connector Network. If you've got any questions, we'll be putting out the link to the Huddle. We'll be putting out some information as well about the Care Connector Network. So get joining, okay? If it's something that you think can help you, please link up with Iain and the Care Connector Network, and you'll get all the information that you need. So thank you very much for joining us this week. Take care. Bye-bye.